I think a really good day is just when work isn't stressful, when I've completed my school tasks already, and then I just get to spend the whole evening wood burning.
Welcome to Peak Pyrography, where we discuss artistry and process with creators in the wood burning and pyrography community. I'm your host, Justine Fedde. I was introduced to wood burning in 2020 and haven't looked back since. Today on the podcast, we have Emily Carter from Embelinaa. Emily and I found each other on Instagram fairly early on and have been liking and commenting on each other's posts regularly. She's got crazy hustle and is constantly creating while balancing a full-time job outside of wood burning, studying for her master's, and creating costumes for her local theater. This is the first time we've gotten to talk about wood burning face to face, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Hey Emily, welcome to Peak Pyrography. I'm so happy to have you on.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
I have been following you since I started my Instagram, and your hustle is awesome. I love to see all the stuff that you put up. You're constantly posting stuff and it's so much fun to see it. So excited to chat with you about your process and how you get it all done. How did you get started in wood burning?
To be honest, I was just at Michael's one day and I had a $30 gift card, and then the walnut hollow intro to wood burning pen was $30. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. I might as well pick that up. So that's how I got started, and then I was hooked ever since.
And when did you start? How long have you been doing this?
I started in, let's see, October of 2021. So a little over a
Nice.
year. Yeah.
That's exciting. Just celebrated that year, and
Yeah, exactly. Come a long
yeah.
way.
And so you picked it up at Michael's, and then what keeps you burning? What keeps you doing it? Why do you do it?
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was just super therapeutic when I started doing it. I was really bad at it at first, but then when I started getting better at it, I found that it was really relaxing. I just do it at nighttime after work, after everything's done for the day. And so it's just kind of like a wind down thing for me. And then I upgraded my machine a bit, and that really just kept me going a lot because it's a lot that you can practice and learn more with a new machine.
What did you end up upgrading to?
It's the Burnmaster Hawk machine.
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, I
Is
actually, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I followed these big wood burning accounts, so I asked a few of them what they recommended, and only one of them got back to me. But she told me to do the Burnmaster Hawk. It's a really good machine. I like it a lot.
Is that a solid nib or a wire nib?
It's a wire nib.
I like those because they heat up really fast and cool down. And are you able to
Yeah.
save your heat temperature between burns, or is it kind of you turn it on and you have to kind of find it again every time?
Um, you can save it. I usually try to play around with it each time, but yeah, it heats up super fast, so you can just save it in between.
That's nice. That's
Hmm.
super nice. Um, so your handle, you're on Instagram at Embelinaa and you're online at embelinaa.com, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's Embelinaa with 2 A's.
Yes, two A's because Embolina with one A was taken.
And what made you pick Embelinaa?
Honestly, it's from Thumbelina. I'm not sure if you've seen that movie.
Yes, that was one of my sister's favorites growing up.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites growing up. And since my name's Emily, my siblings would call me Embolina all the time. And they would
Oh,
sing
perfect.
the Embolina song. So yeah, I thought it was perfect for a handle.
That's awesome. And you
Mhm.
you have a sister and a brother, right?
Yeah, that's correct. They're both older.
Yeah, nice.
Mhm.
I saw an article that you written or been interviewed for, and you said older sisters are the best, and sitting here as an older sister, I really appreciate that.
Oh, it's true. You guys are.
So you've been burning for a little bit over a year. What are some of your favorite pieces that you've done?
I have two of them here. I don't know if my camera will pick them up well, but I have this like snake one. You can kind of
Oh,
see it.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I really
I
like.
can put them in overlay because you sent me the pictures.
Oh yeah, perfect. Then the other one, I don't think it'll show up, but it's a lunar moth. That was probably like one of my bigger pieces that I did in the beginning, and so, or it was like kind of like my first big piece that I did. So I really like that one.
They're beautiful. I love to look at your stuff.
Thank you.
What kind of projects are you working on right now?
Well, I have a market on February 11th. It's like a shop with the heart Valentine's Day themed market. So I'm doing kind of a lot of Valentine's Day stuff. I'm trying to do like conversation hearts, like the little candies that say like
Oh yeah,
hug me and kiss me. Yeah. So I've been doing some of those designs. It is hard getting like a perfect heart each time, I will say, but it's super fun and cute to do those.
that's so much fun. So I know you do a lot of markets. Do you kind of tailor what you're selling at markets to the time of year that you're selling and that kind of
Uh,
stuff?
yeah, I try to just for like a few pieces. I definitely have like my regular pieces that are like year round and can be good anytime. But for like Halloween, I did like coffin boxes, like there's in the shape of little coffins. For Christmas, I did ornaments. And so for Valentine's Day, I'm doing like heart shaped things like keychains and boxes and all that.
Oh, that's so much fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to do like your regular stuff and then to mix it up with the seasonal.
Yeah, it's nice. It's it keeps it interesting for sure.
Yeah. How do you decide what you're going to create other than the seasonal stuff?
Honestly, a lot of my stuff kind of has like a nature influence to it. It's very organic and a lot of floral stuff. So that's usually what I lean towards just because I like that aesthetic. I sometimes I'll do like if I know I have a market coming up, then I'll do things that I know that customers like. But I definitely like the like woodland and nature vibes, so I usually go towards that.
And those are forgiving too. I like nature because
Hmm.
it's a little forgiving if you're like, oh well, it's kind of a wonky mushroom. It's okay. Mushrooms are wonky.
Exactly. I think mushrooms are like one of my main things that I do because you can just kind of squiggle it out and then it always looks really good and everyone loves mushrooms.
They're so cute. So you said that you're burning on your hawk burner. What's your favorite nib to use?
I really like there's like I don't know it's like a flat wire. It's just kind of like an upside down U almost. That one for me is the most universal. I use it for most of my pieces. It's just it like glides really smooth, super easy to use. You can also like carve with it if you need to. But then for like writing, which I will say I need to get better at like writing with pyrography, but they're like the fine tip, almost like dot nibs, and those ones are really good too.
Do you use the ballpoint one?
Yeah.
Nice. I haven't figured that one out yet. I have one, I haven't
Yeah.
figured it out yet.
Yeah, I'm definitely still learning. Like some days I'm like, wow, this is the best nib ever. And then other days I'm like, I don't know how I use this ever.
Do you put color on your pieces?
I don't yet. Well, I have for like a couple pieces, but usually I don't. But I've been seeing that people are using like wood stains sometimes to like fill in their pieces, and that seems really interesting. So I might look into it, but I haven't yet. No.
I saw that you make some dyes of your own. I was wondering if you ever use any of your dyes on your wood, on your burns.
I have only twice. So I try to make my dyes out of like compost materials. So one of them that I make is from turmeric, and I just boil it down in water, and it makes it like a really potent dye, like really vibrant. I've tried to paint that onto my wood before. I just find that it fades in the sun a little bit. So I think I need to find like a better sealer or something for that. And then
Yeah,
I
and
also, yeah, I've done the same thing like with berries. I like boil it down, get it like super vibrant. And it when it goes on, it's super nice, but it's just letting it last for like years that it probably won't last that long.
but it looks real good right away.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool. That's different from acrylics or watercolors, and that's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I started the dyes on fabrics, like on cotton dyes, and I find that that holds really well. Like things that I've dyed with turmeric haven't faded at all for fabrics, but the wood isn't as porous, I guess, so it doesn't like
Or it
hold the
sucks it
dye.
all up.
Oh yeah, that's true. It could just suck it all up. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your favorite woods to or surfaces to burn on?
I really like basswood. It's like super easy to burn. The snake that I was showing you is on basswood, and it's just like really smooth, doesn't really catch
It's
at
like
all.
butter to burn on.
It is, yeah. The first time I burnt on it, I was like, that's insane. Like it's so easy. You can use a really low temperature with it because it just burns so easy. But yeah, that one's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Um, I know that you're really conscious of sustainable practices. Where do you source your wood from local places, or how do you find your wood?
Yeah, I haven't found any local places near me. But I do go on Etsy a lot and see if there are any like sellers who have wood there. But honestly, if someone has like a commission and they need it super fast, then I kind of have to go to Michael's or Joann's. But I do try to go to Etsy for like most of my wood. But if you know any suppliers, let me know because I'm definitely looking for some.
Yeah, I know a couple around here. Well, Aspen Rustic. Yeah, Aspen Rustic is a Denver-based company, and then Walnut Hollow has some really great wood, and I'm not sure I know where
Mhm.
they're based.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but they're definitely like the main wood burner company, I think.
Yeah, or if you're, and then it's David and Renee is like their stuff is really nice to burn on, and it's just like made for pyrographers.
Oh, really? I'll have to try that.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
great.
it's good stuff. When you're doing your burns, what kind of style do you tend to gravitate to? Like you said, you do nature, but do you do like the
Mhm.
realistic style on that, or do you more line drawings?
Definitely more line drawings or graphic. I haven't had too much experience with like realistic drawing. I used to be like an awful drawer. So like getting into wood burning, I had to learn a lot. So
But
yeah, I
that's the nice
haven't.
thing. Like if you can trace, you can wood burn. I can
Yeah,
trace.
exactly. Exactly, yeah. And then my mom got me an iPad for Christmas, so I can like now I can draw on the iPad and make like my lines super
Oh,
pretty and then trace
fun.
from that. Yeah. So that helps me with my designs a lot now. Um, but definitely more
I
like
saw you
graphic
just
and
did one of
line
like
drawing.
the dragon emoji, and I was wondering how you
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah, my friend requested that. It was the commission one. I thought for sure I couldn't do it, but of course I agreed to it. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make that for you. Um, and I had to like blow up the image really big and trace it. But of course, we like there's no solid photo of an emoji online for some reason. So
No,
it's like
because
super
they're all this
pixelated.
big.
Yeah. It's super pixelated, super hard to stencil. So it definitely took some I had to look at other pictures of dragons to fill in the spots that I couldn't figure out. And that's how I learned that dragons can have like 3 claws or 4 claws, depending on the species of dragon. So a lot of research went into that one. But yeah, I just had to, it took me a long time to draw it. It took a couple weeks for sure.
That's so cool. I'd never even thought of like turning emojis into wood burns. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that was a fun one for sure. And now I'm like looking at what other ones I should do.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think I saw that you like to do research on your burns and find out like the 3 or 4 claws and how many feathers a
Yeah.
hummingbird has.
Yeah, I try, even though I don't tend to do like realistic drawings, I do try to have at least look into what it's supposed to look like and get as close to it as possible. It's still maybe a little more like whimsical than it is realistic, but at least I don't know. I just like to research and find out more about it before I do it.
Awesome. Does Embelina keep you busy full time? Is it kind of a side hustle for you?
Right now, it's just a side hustle. I would love for it to be full time. But I do have a full-time job. I work for a construction company doing energy analysis. And then I'm also in my master's right now for environmental policy. So wood burning is kind of like my at the end of the day if I have time thing right now.
I understand that. I work full time as a civil engineer, and then this is my fun. This is my
Yeah,
relaxing.
exactly. We all need that like really fun hobby. If we did it full time, maybe we wouldn't like it so much. I don't know.
Maybe it's a nice change of pace though from like all the numbers and like black and white, and then all of a sudden
Mhm.
it can be whatever I want it to be. Like that's so fun to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, there's so much creativity behind it. I don't know, work and school can be so like demanding but very like straightforward, and then wood burning you can just kind of do whatever you want with it.
It's so much fun. So your online presence, you're on Instagram and you've got your website.
Mhm.
And how much time do you have to spend managing your online presence versus like getting to burn or or go to markets or other things like that?
Yeah, I've noticed as I'm picking this up that Instagram like requires a lot of your time. Like if you want your posts to be seen, if you want other people to see you, you have to kind of be on it more often. So that's kind of been a struggle for me to like learn that, but I do try to post
Especially
like,
working a full-time job, you're like, I got to be working. I can't be
yeah,
posting.
yeah, exactly. I try to post maybe every like 3 or 4 days now. It used to be every other day, and that was like insane. I can't keep up with that. I know that doesn't sound like a
Yeah.
lot, but I
It
don't
is
know.
though. You don't want to be a slave to the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. And I like during 2020, like I had deleted my Instagram, so I wasn't even on like during the pandemic. I just felt like I was on social media too much. Then I deleted it so that I wasn't on it anymore. So now that I'm like back on it, I feel again that I'm on it too much, and it's like just crazy. Like I don't know. I don't want to be on my phone all the time, like on Instagram going through my pictures and stuff, but I mean, the good part of it is that like this is how I met you and like other wood burners. So there is a positive to it for sure.
I think it's great if you can find those little like niches of community, but there are definitely times when you're like, this is just too much. I got off Facebook during the pandemic and I have not gone back on Facebook unless I needed something like off the marketplace or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I just needed a break from that one.
Yeah, exactly. But there definitely are good things about it too, I will say.
It's nice to find those little corners of community, and then you can just like take a break, and if you come back and your reach is whatever, it's fine. I mean, we'll just move on, right?
Yeah,
It'll come back,
exactly.
and the people who care will keep following and keep liking.
That's true. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're all just doing our art, so like the number of likes don't matter.
Exactly. But you can put it up there, and then when you meet someone, you're like, I would burn. Check out my feed.
Yeah.
And that's fun to do that in person, even if they're not, liking every picture.
Yeah, that's true.
I find that with my coworkers all the time. They're like the nerdy engineers, and they're like, "Wait, you would burn? What does that even mean?"
Oh,
They're super
yeah.
sweet. I work with good people.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, my coworkers, all like if we have a new team member or something and we have to kind of do like our spiel about ourselves and say our hobbies, whenever I say like wood burning or pyrography, they're always like, "What is that? Like, what is that even?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed even at markets, like it's harder to find like other people who do wood burning, but then online there definitely is a big community, and it just kind of feels like we all know each other.
Yeah, it's spread out, but then yeah, you get online and it feels a lot closer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what big things do you have coming up right now?
Right now I have a market coming up. It's my only one scheduled right now. It's February 11th, and then I'm also looking to put my some of my items in a store. So there's a store called Adore Boutique, and they're just in a few malls around where I live in San Diego. So they reached out to me to maybe put some items there, and I'm trying to get that set up by the 15th. So hopefully that's coming
Oh,
soon.
nice.
Yeah.
That's fun that they reached out to you.
Yeah, and they reached out through Instagram, so there are definitely good things about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Um, what do you when you're burning, what's happening in the background?
So my wood burning station is like facing away from the TV in a little corner, but usually my mom and sister are watching TV in the background or there's music playing. We're kind of a big Harry Potter house, so sometimes we'll listen to the audiobooks while I'm wood burning. Or sometimes if I have to get like schoolwork done, then I'll just listen to my lectures. But there's always something
Not as much
playing.
fun, but
Yeah, not as much fun. But I'm usually just like kind of facing my little corner, but always listening to something.
that's cool. Well, let's take a real quick break here, and
Mhm.
um, we'll be right back.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Well, welcome back. All right. So, Emily, are there days that are good days and bad days with wood burning, or maybe with just life in general? What do you take from your what's a really good day look like for you?
I think a really good day is just when work isn't stressful, when I've completed my school tasks already, and then I just get to spend the whole evening wood burning. I know that sounds like maybe a little boring, but it's
Not
just
at
nice
all.
to it's nice to have like a few hours of the day just dedicated to wood burning instead of like trying to rush everything so that I can have like like one single hour at the end of the day. So when I have extra time, I can just relax with it, take my time with everything, and that's kind of like what my best day looks like.
And what do not so good days look like for you?
I guess just when everything kind of happens all at once, like if work is super busy and then school is super busy, and if I have a market coming up, which like happened a lot last fall, I signed up for like way too many markets, um, which I love doing, but it is hard to balance like that work, school, and hobby life. So just when everything is like really busy and I'm feeling really rushed and stressed, that definitely gets to me.
Are there things you're able to take from your good days and bring into your bad days to help you get through those like stressful moments?
Well, I think like on my bad days, I'm kind of like, well, or if I get like past this busy season, then I get to relax type of thing. And like, I just remember how nice it is to have that extra free time. So that kind of is what gets me through. Or sometimes I'll be like, well, I made it through this really stressful day. So who says I can't make it through this another stressful day? So, which I know probably maybe that's not the best, but if you can make it through once, you can make it through again.
I sometimes that's all you have to get through the
Yeah,
next one. I I made it. I'm still alive today, so you've made it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you do to unwind? Do you do pyrography? Is there anything else you do to in the evenings to like relax and um, kind of bring your energy back?
Yeah, sometimes I do sewing. That's another hobby of mine. So I do like embroidery, or also I try to like sew my own clothes and stuff. That's definitely
Oh, cool.
relaxing. Yeah, I haven't
That's so
made too many.
cool.
Yeah, I haven't made too many pieces, but I'm trying to make more of them. I've made like a few shirts and dresses and things like that. So just trying to learn a new hobby sometimes kind of calms me down, relaxes me, and then embroidery is definitely like probably just as relaxing as wood burning. You can just sit there and cross stitch for hours. It's great.
And I saw that you did you made costumes for a local production of
Yes,
The Wiz.
yeah, exactly. So I've been doing costume design maybe for like 2 years now, a little over a
Oh,
year.
nice.
My sister actually, I started costume design because my sister like produced her own ballet. So I helped her with the costumes for that. She designed the costumes, but then I helped her like sew everything. And then for the Wiz, I got to do costume creating and design for Teatro San Diego. And that was a lot of fun because I don't know if you've seen The Wiz, but a lot of the costumes are kind of more extravagant and like a little like there's a lot that goes into building the costumes for that. So it was a lot of fun. And then I'm actually doing costume design for another play right now. It's called Ripped and it's for Loud Fridge Theater Group. And they're in their last show weekend this weekend, but I got to do costume design for that too.
Oh, that's so fun.
Hmm.
Theater is amazing.
Yeah, I I grew up doing ballet, and then as I'm getting older, I've been like touching the theater scene. And even though it's like kind of a lot different from ballet, it's a whole new world and it's super exciting.
That's so fun. That's so cool. Um, and so that's kind of what you do to unwind. You pyrography, embroidery, costume design. I mean, with school and work, you're doing it all right now.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a lot, but I've kind of always been like that where I like to have multiple hobbies going on with my responsibilities too.
Cool. Well, let's switch gears here a little bit and go into the speed round. So there's two
Okay.
versions of this. One I'm going to ask you about being on a deserted island, and then the other one will
Okay.
be more of a surprise for you. So
Okay.
as a pyrographer, if you were on a deserted island and you were allowed to have one type of wood, one wood burner, one nib, and then one extra item for pyrography, what would those be? So we can start with what kind of wood would it be?
Probably basswood. Yeah,
So nice.
I
And what
know.
burner would you be using?
I think the same one I have. I'm used to it. It's reliable. I think the Burnmaster Hawk. Yeah.
Yeah, the best burner is the one that you have. always. Which nib would you be using?
Probably the flat, like U wire nib. It's pretty universal. I think I could draw a lot with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Can make most of your stuff with it. And then just change
Yeah,
the temperature and you got shading done too.
exactly.
Yeah. And then what's one extra pyrography or one extra item you would have with you on the island?
Um, I'm tempted to say like a pencil that has an eraser attached to it so that I can draw on my base wood and before I start burning. I've never been good at like freehand or anything. I have to draw it out first.
Agreed. Freehand's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So are you ready for the 10 silly questions that I've got here?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Would you rather go hiking or running?
Hiking.
What was your last Halloween costume?
I was Hermione at the Yule Ball, but the book version, so it was a blue dress instead of the pink dress. And I made it myself.
Yes. Even better. I was gonna ask you that too.
Yeah.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
No, I'm not a shoebie.
Do you prefer dawn or dusk?
Dusk.
Would you rather cuddle a baby panda or a baby penguin?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna say a panda because of their fur. I think they'll be nice and warm.
Nice and cozy.
Hmm.
What's your favorite type of cheese?
Oh, okay, this is even harder one. I'm gonna say brie. I love melty, ooey gooey brie cheese.
Yes. What object do you misplace the most?
Oh, um, that's a good question. I know the most obvious ones are probably like phone, keys, wallets, but I think I always know where that is. Maybe my AirPods, actually. I have them today, but yeah, my
They're hard to
AirPods.
keep track of. They're so little.
Yeah. Even I'll put them back in the case, but then who knows where the case is?
Yes, especially because women's clothes don't come with pockets.
Exactly.
I hope all of the ones you make do.
Yes, I have learned how to put pockets into things, so I've been doing that.
Um, what which animals add more joy to the world, squirrels or llamas?
Oh. Mm, I'm gonna say llamas because I think there are more like puns that you can make with llama too, and I think that's like an additional joy, but it's a close
For
tie.
sure. My kids have a book about how to charm a llama. It's pretty cute.
Oh,
Um, Pick one Broadway soundtrack to listen to for the rest of your life.
oh, that's a good question. Or yeah, maybe. Hmm. Honestly, like Broadway's The Lion King. I got,
That's a good one.
yeah, I got to see it in Vegas like when I was like 13 or like too young to appreciate it, but yeah, looking back, definitely good music in that one.
Yeah, and it has some fun songs that weren't in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. A good one.
And then last one, what's your Harry Potter house?
Oh, I'm a Gryffindor. I know it,
For
yeah.
sure.
I always wish I was a Ravenclaw. I do, but I take the test like years apart and I continuously get or consistently get Gryffindor. So, yeah.
Then it must be.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the big things that you've got coming up, you have you've got your market on the 11th, which will be over by the time this posts.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? Do you have anything else on the horizon? Any other journeys we can follow you on?
Aside from pyrography, I am graduating from my master's in June, so that's big for
Oh, and
me.
what are you studying?
Environmental policy and management.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot. It's great, but I'm also ready for graduation, so we're almost there.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
A master's is a lot of work.
Yeah. But other than that, I hope to do more markets and hopefully get my items into a shop. And then I also want to like update my website and be more dedicated to that too.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Emily, so much for coming on today. It was so wonderful to chat with you, especially since I met you on Instagram and now I've gotten to have the conversation with you. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really great talking to you, and I appreciate all your support online too.
Thanks for tuning in, and a special thank you to Emily Carter of Embelinaa. I loved getting to hear about her creative process. Next episode will be a special bonus episode where I chat with a creator outside of wood burning. I'll be talking with Katie and Cameron Fedde, who designed ultralight outdoor gear in New Zealand from their live-in van or converted barn apartment. Peak Pyrography is produced by Fedde Studios and Justine Fedde. Our producer and sound engineer is Kevin Fedde. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. You can share your comments on today's podcast or suggestions for the future on Instagram at peak_pyro or via email at peakpyrography@gmail.com. That's peakpyrography@gmail.com. Until next time, keep creating. I can't wait to see what you make next.